A little bit of background on SCTi. We've been around 12 years or so. We've got a considerable amount of experience in data center optimization. When we began 12 years ago, cooling optimization really got very little attention in companies from a data center point of view and from a cost point of view. Back then, the approach was if they felt there were cooling issues in the data center, it was just let's throw some more cooling at it, let's buy another cooling unit, whatever it takes. But very few people looked at actually doing an optimization on it. So over the last few years, more and more companies, fortunately, are starting to realize that data center operating expenses and the outlay for new equipment can be substantially reduced by improving their cooling efficiency. We've continued our commitment to cooling optimization and energy efficiency in data centers, and over time, we've further developed this focused expertise through training, licensing, professional association, and of course, we've had a large number of customer engagements, which are also very good from a point of view of gaining additional expertise. We are a solutions provider, not a product vendor. We take a whole systems approach to optimizing the data center and resolving problems that are costing you a lot of money, and sometimes this cost is being incurred unknowingly. We dig into the root cause of the problem. We don't have a preconceived notion before we walk into the data center. Our objective is to go in and understand how the data center is operating and come up with a solution that meets your needs and meets your budget. And our objective overall is to end up with a data center that's compliant with ASHRAE recommended guidelines. We've worked in a variety of data centers, telecom sites, large enterprises, not-for-profit organizations, hospitals, colos, etc. So we understand the company's management dynamics, and we worked in quite a variety of dynamics. We provide a turnkey solution. We do the project management of all the activities and communicate directly with you, so you know what's going on at all times. Essentially, when we begin the project, we look after it from start to finish. As I say, we are communicating with you constantly. If you have concerns, we address those concerns very upfront, and our objective is that when we do a closeout of the work that we've done for you, that includes a walkthrough and includes considerable documentation of everything that's been changed, and therefore you know what the state of your data center is at that point in time. There's no surprises at the end. We refer to our program as cooling optimization. So what's that really mean? And we'll come up with a definition for that. And essentially it equates to using the least amount of cooling capacity and energy to create an optimal thermal condition for the IT equipment. And even though our focus is on cooling, IT equipment, we realize, of course, is the critical aspect of the data center. That's why the data center is there. That's why you have a data center. So our objective is to make that IT equipment give us as good an environment as possible for that IT equipment to operate. So what's that mean? Well, first of all, we optimize airflow, which allows the least amount of cooling capacity to be used to meet the needs of the IT equipment. And by reducing cooling capacity or operating cooling capacity, we reduce the cooling energy costs. And usually our results are very substantial reduction in cooling costs. And as I say, the primary objective though is to ensure that the IT equipment is operating in an optimal thermal environment and that operating costs have been reduced. So over the last few years, we've decided to start tracking some of the projects that we have completed. And if we look over the last 2 or 3 years, to date, we've achieved 7.8 million kilowatt hours of energy reduction. So to put that into terms that easier to understand, that's equivalent to about the energy consumption of 820 households in a year. We've saved our clients just about 1.1 million in energy costs for cooling, and that's a one-year value. And the reason I say that is because once a customer has achieved that, once we've helped customers achieve that energy savings in year one, the objective is that those savings continue to accumulate year over year. So the value here is just a 1 year shot. Any project that we get involved in, We work with the client and work with the IESO to get energy incentives for that. And well, all of our projects that we've done have been projects that have been incented by the IESO. So that means that you, as a client, are getting money back based on the project cost and based on the energy savings that we've achieved for you. And to date, we've achieved close to $800,000 back to our clients, which helps to offset the project costs. On average, if we look across all of the sites that we've done over the last 3 years or so, cooling energy reduction has been on average 36%. So when we look at the cost of a data center operation, as I noted earlier, cooling can represent between 30 to 60%. If we take a number, let's say 40%, we're looking at about anywhere between a 15 to 20% reduction in overall operating costs for a data center. So that's pretty substantial. As well, we've also had an impact on the carbon footprint by reducing active refrigerant in cooling systems. And to date, we've removed over 3,300 kilograms of refrigerant, taken it out of service. And that is equivalent to about 6,200 tons of CO2. So needless to say, cooling optimization, number one, is very positive from a customer point of view. Number two, it's very positive from an environmental point of view. And number three, the intent here is to provide you with long-term results that you continue to see those savings. To put a slightly different perspective on it, our cooling optimization program, we've worked in a variety of data centers, colos, large data centers, small data centers. In the colo side, typically our average is running about a 40% energy reduction, and we've averaged about 274 kilowatts of additional IT load, enabling this IT load to be added to a site without the addition of more cooling on that site. In large data centers, we've averaged about 30% energy reduction on the cooling side, and across the data centers that we worked in, it's resulted in about 242 kilowatts of additional IT load being added. Some data centers are more, some data centers are slightly less, but that's just an average across the large data centers. And when we use the term large data center here, we're looking at centers 7,000 to 8,000 square feet and above, even 10,000 square feet and above. We've done work in data centers up to 40,000 square feet as well. So the expertise and the application of cooling optimization is not just focused on one specific type of data center, but is applicable to data centers of all sizes. And then on the smaller data centers, so we'd be looking at 5,000 or 6,000 square feet and less. Our average cooling energy reduction has been about 41%, and the average enablement of IT load is in the range of 103 kilowatts. So for a small data center, that's pretty significant.